Okay, good evening everybody and welcome back to Press Play. I'm your host JJ48 and tonight we are going to be hopefully completing The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on what, if my counting is correct, is our 200th Legend of Zelda stream. So we are on Skyloft. We just wanted to kind of see if people were going to react to the fact that the temple's gone, which looks like the headmaster might.
Hey!
It's happened! Goddess and her isle have vanished from Skyloft. Well, the truth is... Yeah, let's tell them about how this all went down. No need to explain. When all catastrophes are overcome, only then will the goddess make her return to the surface. These are the last of the secret words passed down here on Skyloft. It is only now that I've realized the significance of them. Yes, their meaning is clear to me. This must mean it's all over. My Zelda, she's safe at last? No. I'm sorry. I mean, we're working on it, but not quite. And whatever other surprises fate may have in store for you, I'm sure you will triumph. We're counting on you, after all. Just stay focused on the task at hand. Put all your strength into it. You can't go wrong. I have faith that you shall bring my daughter back to me. I desire that more than an explanation of whatever it was that transpired. Okay, but you're seriously not really curious about what's going on? Okay. I guess that does make a certain amount of sense that you just like, yeah, whatever, just bring my daughter back, but... Anybody else have anything?
Yeah?
Can you believe it? The Isle of the Goddess fell right out of the sky. It breaks my heart to see it missing from Skyloft, but you know, I think it was a message from the Goddess telling us to make the most of our That's... I mean, it being a message from the Goddess I can understand, and interpreting it as a positive message, sure, but how are you getting make the most out of our lives from that? There's Tingle Doll. Yeah. Not gonna find anything in Zelda's room. Looking for other people who might be responsive, so...
No?
While her statue may be gone, the goddess is still with us, for she lives on in our hearts. Don't you agree? Okay. So it seems like people at the Academy, at least, interestingly enough, they're taking it very well that the Isle is gone. Where's Crane? Oh, that's right. I think during the day she's in one of the classrooms. Oh, the world is bursting with undiscovered surprises, isn't it? Oh, you're still just obsessed with the plants. Have you even noticed that the statue is missing? I'm not used to getting stared at like this. It's making me blush. It doesn't seem like he's terrified or anything, just a little shy. So that's... There she is. Hey, have you heard about the statue falling? Did you hear all that noise outside a little while ago? I wonder what that was all about. Okay, so you heard it, you just haven't heard about what it is. That's our room. What do you want? I won't forget what you've done to me. Ever since you botched that thing with the letter, I've been having nightmares and can't get any sleep. I wonder if that's what it's cursed. Maybe it's Groose's revenge. You gotta help. Okay, if you seriously think it's Groose's revenge, why don't you just go back to your own room? Fudge is usually outside during the day. And Stritch is, during the day, he's at the pumpkin, so he's not going to be here. Don't hear that voice from the restroom anywhere more. I wonder who it was. Oh yeah, the ghost. It's left the restrooms. Now she's hanging out with Colin. Okay, well, I think one other thing I want to check is I want to check around town one more nighttime, because I think, if I recall correctly, helping Batro may have changed the state of the island, and we might not see any more monsters. And I had only just realized as I was doing some preparation that I don't think we've actually been around the island at night since helping Batro. Let's see if that's... Here, usually, if we go this way, there's some keys. Some butterflies. I'm not seeing any keys. Don't see any choo-choos. Nice night for a stroll outside, eh? Forget how nice it feels to be out here at night with no monsters to bother you. Yeah, the monsters are gone now.
Wow!
Oh, thanks for all your help. My bird is back to full health. Thank you so much. Yeah. People out here don't seem terribly concerned about the statue being gone. I also wanted to see... Hey, Batro's out here now. Good evening. I thought I'd take a refreshing stroll around town, and to my surprise, there's not a monster to be seen. You don't suppose their disappearance has something to do with me becoming human, do you? No way. It could be. Goodness, I suppose you're right. There's no denying that when I was a demon, I must have radiated a fiendish power into my surroundings. Now that I'm human, it seems that most unpleasant aura has completely faded from this place, like an odious aroma in the wind. And goodness me, I couldn't be more elated. Now everyone can finally live in peace, and it's all thanks to you. Like, even the cat thing is... Normally at night these would attack us. Now they seem friendly at night as well. Oh. Let's talk to... does Kukil have anything to say now that her friend is human? Is she happy for him? Is she upset that like he's lost his bat wings and stuff? Yeah, she's asleep. I haven't seen my husband. I know he's curious why the night turned silent so suddenly, but it's no reason to dash out there. What if he bumped into a monster? No, there's no monsters anymore. It's cool. Okay, maybe... we need to make it daytime anyway.
Yo.
Should have fallen head over boots for my honey baby. Okay. So she's as irresistible as a cool glass of lemonade on a sweaty day, but I won't stand for it. You don't care about what happened either. Mind if I borrow your bed real quick? Just want to sleep until morning, and you don't seem like you're in sleep at all, so... So the question is, where is Kukiel? They're probably running around somewhere. She in her house? Hey, where's your daughter? It's great. Ever since Kukiel came back, she's stopped wandering out on her own. It's too bad her father can't follow her example. He always slips out to wander around town. She up. Who's that kid? Not the one we're looking for. The island's not very large. Okay, there she is. Oh, hey, I'm looking out at where the goddess statue used to be. Hey, mister, did you know the goddess is gone? You think she got mad and left because I never listened to my mom and dad? No, I don't think that's why, although you should listen to your mom and dad more. I think it's a good thing, actually. It's not a... she got mad and left. This is unbelievable. The goddess statue's gone. Somebody please explain just what's going on here in Skyloft? Okay. Maybe we should have tried speaking to Kukiel before getting this far. I wonder if she would have hit something different. Alright. Don't have the stuff for upgrading our potion. That's okay. I think we'll try going on without it. Let's head... to the Fair and Wood so we can go through the time gate, which, yeah, in fairness, we really should have probably closed that or something once we were done using it. Just left it open for Girahim to look through. In case you've forgotten, when we dropped the temple down, it sealed away the imprisoned, but Girahim is like, hey, you guys left a time portal open. I'm just going to jump into the past and revive my master in the past where he's not completely sealed away, so. Yeah, I don't think we've really taken a look out here too much. It's rather fortunate that for the Grucinator that it was mostly... Okay. So... it was a little loud when I was flying. Okay. So yeah, we dropped this on the imprisoned that sealed him up pretty permanently, but then Girahim went to the past to revive him there, and I wanted to check. This is the dividing line of the part that fell down and the part that was already down here, and if I recall, the ceiling was broken. And so Okay, yeah, here we can see a Triforce seal, or, Triforce. And then around the edges, these are the symbols of the sages from Ocarina of Time. I don't recall which is which, other than that one was fire. I think that one was spirit. And that one was probably water, just because it looks like the Zora emblem. But could even be wrong about that. Okay. It's interesting that that's exactly where the dividing line was. And of course, this game takes place before Ocarina of Time, because in this game, like, Hyrule doesn't exist yet. Listen to me. You must do whatever it takes to prevent the resurrection of Demise in the past. Quickly now, open the Gate of Time and return to the past. You gotta chase after that creep. Zelda's counting on you. Okay. Actually, the symbols and the colors here look very much like the Twilly, the Twilight, like where Midna comes from, and the symbols they use. Temple of Hylia. Okay, Impa, what happened? It's Girahim. He appeared out of thin air and got the drop on me. Don't worry about me. You must chase after him. He ran through the great doors at the front of the temple. You may yet catch him before it's too late. Hurry. Okay. We haven't been outside in the past before. Ooh. Oh, okay. Good and safe, I suppose. Probably more meant to slow us down so that we can't just jump down there. What's with the dance? That's right, he needs Zelda, or more properly Hylia, in order to revive Demise. Hear me, my lords, the spell is nearly complete. The Demon King returns. Until then, we will keep that whelp from interfering with my ritual. What, these guys? If a whole lot of you get lodged on the end of his blade, you will buy me the time I need. Do not fear him, fear my wrath. Okay. Just run past you guys. Aha! Yeah, you weren't expecting this, were you? Oh. Gary, why don't you just worry about your own business and let me handle running down? Oh, okay. Looks like we got some sappers now. You guys can just keep holding those if you like. I'm not hearing any explosions. That's kind of... Ah! Get away from it. Oh, and we got hot ones. Oh, okay, barrier's already down. I think what happened is the... Oh, okay. Gonna be... I think what happened is that the bombs went off close enough to the moblins to just take them out. Take out these archers as we run past them. Oh, nice. Guys. Oh, we have a blue one show up. Okay. Got some guys with growling horns. More bomb guys. Just joining in and doing this little dance or something. Whoa. Got those. Okay. That's right, with spin attacks. Lowers my stamina. Okay. Not that way. Oh. Ah. Ow. Okay, we just need to get past this. Looks like this final barrier. Ah. Okay, good. Not doing too bad on health. Oh, okay. Well, no, that's a little unfair, dude. How am I supposed to stop you if you keep putting obstacles in my way? Far too quick, boy. I realize a simple child like you knows nothing of magic, but spells like this take time and a steady hand. Can't you wait quietly like a good boy, You petulant brat, you've pushed me too far. I've waited my whole existence for this. This is my moment. You know what? Fine. If you're so intent on hurrying to your grave, I'll be happy to show you the way. Hang on, Zelda. Working on it. This time there will be no heroic escape. I was a fool to toy with you and let you walk away with your life before, but I won't make that mistake again. Yeah, well, now I think I might remember a little bit of how to fight you. Maybe, if I can get the time right. That, I promise. I think you're making the platform a little larger. Oh, Ned, put you in your place from the very beginning. Show a human a little mercy, and next thing you know, he thinks himself your equal. Given my station, I had to maintain some semblance of dignity, so I let you run with your life. Twice, even. Such a guilty pleasure. But instead of scurrying away like any creature with a basic instinct to survive, you just kept coming back, again and again and again. I've let a mere boy make a fool of me for the last time. You stand before a demon, or should I say a weapon without mercy. Oh, are you related to Fee? For you, boy, I've prepared a most appropriate and humiliating death. I even have a pet name for it. I call it the Endless Plunge. First, I will take my time bludgeoning you, then when I grow bored of it, I will drive you to the edge and deliver a last strike to send you falling to your doom. Yeah, dude, I've got a piece of cloth I can hold over my head, so yeah, I'm not gonna die from falling. I'll delight in casting your body into this pit and snuffing out the flame of your life. Your broken body will serve as fine sustenance for the Demon King. We'll see about that. Oh, okay. Okay, you did not fight the same as you have before. Skyward Strike. Oh, I got him to block. Maybe I can force you off the edge? Ah, maybe you'll still fall. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, okay, that's how we're doing it. Ow. Yeah, okay. Not so tough, are you? Oh. Hey. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Okay. Come on, that was... I totally did not. Yeah. Well, thank you for slowly lowering that. I mean, again, I have a sailcloth, but... Not sure if I'm actually hurting him at all. Staggering him. Oh, I probably need to stab him. No, not like that. Come on, Mike. There we go. No. Come on, like stab. There we go. Oh, okay. Try that again. Okay, when I'm ready. Stabbing is probably the trickiest thing for me to register. Come on. There we go. Okay. Is that it? You wretched brat. Oh. It's not it. Oh. Okay, his sword keeps chipping and then healing. Use that. Stab. Stab. I have a fairy. Right? Nope. Okay. need to dodge better. Okay. Well, drink some of this. That did not do anything. Haha! Take some of that. Yeah, that's... I don't like that. Okay, well, we didn't take damage. Yeah, well, his potion is helping us take damage. Oh, stab. Okay, there. Is that it? Wow. Maybe you should have, like, worn something to cover up that giant weak spot of yours, but... This is preposterous. Driven to my knees by a simple child of man. Laughable. No matter how many times we clash, I can't prevail. You think I can't defeat you? You think I can't win? Boy, what are you? But never mind that. Victory is still mine to savor. While we fought, the ritual I started continued. At last it's complete. The Demon King shall devour the soul of the goddess and resurrect in his full glory. This doesn't look good. Is there anything we can do to stop this? Hold up our shield. Okay, that's good. Oh, great. The avocado's back. Okay, if you want to run up and like stab his toes or something, that seemed to be pretty effective when we fought him before. Don't you see? It's all over. You and your kind have lost. This world and everything in it now belong to darkness. They belong to my master. Still kind of scaly, but a bit less vegetable-like. Welcome back to us, Master. His toes are going to be really hard to target now. Oh my. absorbing Girahim back into the sword that he's the spirit of, I guess. Hey, it's got an inverted Triforce on it. And parts of it look... The hilt looks somewhat similar to the Master Sword, not quite. More like bat's wings instead of bird's wings.
So, you are the chosen knight of the goddess. Intriguing. The goddess lowered herself to a mortal existence to keep me imprisoned. How pathetic. This bag of flesh pales in comparison to the magnificence of her previous form. Don't worry, Bruce has got this.
Hey, he made it! Good catch, buddy.
I caught her, she's okay. So you and that other human would stand up for obliteration to aid the goddess, would you? How curious. The humans I've known were weak things, hardly more than insects, shivering under rocks and ready to flee at a mere glimpse of me.
I mean, that hair is kind of scary. But, you know, I think we've faced worse.
Last I walked this world, they did little more than scream and cling to their goddess, mewling and praying, counting on her to protect them. How amusing to think those cowards had begotten someone like you. You grow more fascinating by the second, human. I never imagined I'd meet one of your kind who wished to stand against me in battle. Very well then, I shall prepare a place for us where we will not be bothered by distractions. If you still have the courage to face me, seek me there. It's all on you! Oh, and listen up, Granny had some info for you. The old girl says it'll take time for that grease wad to absorb Zelda's soul completely. You can take him down before her soul gets all sucked up into that thing. You might still have a chance. I know you can do it. So yeah, you've got to do this. You're all Zelda's got. You've got to make this happen. Okay. Fear for your life, do not follow me. And spend what little time your world has left cowering and crying as befits your kind. If you truly desire to raise your blade against the world that you build, come with me. Wait eons to return, you can spare a few more moments, legends. Okay. It's up to you now. All right. We are in dire need of some health, so let's go... Wait, you want to tell me? Yeah, my hearts have decreased quite dramatically. Yeah, working on it, Fee. So first, let's go ahead and save. Can't go back up to the sky here because we're in the past, so let's head back to the present. Try a similar loadout. We'll refill our potion. That was actually a pretty helpful potion. Was that just the normal potion without getting it boosted? Like stopping us from taking damage? Okay.
There it is. Probably jump like over there and we just had to backtrack a little bit to get to here. Okay. Okay. Let's hope this doesn't take too long, since we don't want Zelda's soul to get completely absorbed. Bruce, what are you doing in here? How'd you get up here before me?
Oh.
Not panic. Zelda is fine. She rests in the back room of the temple. I never expected Demise would rise again. It seems now that the fate of the world rests solely in your hands. Phew, that was way too close back there. Had a serious sweat going. Can you imagine what would have happened if I hadn't pulled off one of my famous Groose maneuvers to catch Zelda? I'll stay here and make sure she's protected, so don't worry about her one bit. Just get out there and clobber that Demise creep. I'm counting on you. We all are. Yeah, you got it, buddy. First, I'm going to return to the... I'll be right back. I just want to get some fairies and some potion. No, so Demise has already been resurrected. If we do not stop him, this world is doomed. I have no other words for you. Know now that you are the sole hope for the survival of this land. The danger is overwhelming, but you must persevere. You must save our world. Where is a statue? Oh, that's... What's that sound? That's our potion about to run out. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so... I guess that is good to have that warning, like if we were in the middle of combat, knowing that our potion was about to run out would be rather helpful. But since we're not in combat and we don't have anything else to focus on, that just gets a little bit irritating. Go to the bazaar. Are there any freebie places to heal? Oh, there's some heart plants around. Maybe at least get rid of the beeping. And then down at the temple, once we get one jar of potion, down at the temple we have the there's the goddess wall where we should be able to get some fairies. Should heal us up the rest of the way, as well as allowing us to fill up our last bottle. There we go. No more beeping. Okay. Hey, Batro's in here now. Oh, good day. I simply can't thank you enough for all your help. I'm overjoyed. For so long I wondered what it would be like to casually stroll through the bazaar, and here I am. Look around. The best part is nobody is screaming in horror. Yeah. Glad it worked out. Okay, so this potion... No, not you. I'm trying to get the... Yeah, you infuse the potions with the ingredients. I don't have any potions at the moment. Sorry. There we go. Let's see. a Guardian Potion. Invincible. It's a potion that reduces the damage you take for a little bit of... Okay, so just reduces our damage if we don't power it up. It's 200... Oh, man. Can we afford that? Potion halves any damage you receive. The effect lasts for 3 minutes. We don't have the stuff to power it up. I wonder if maybe it'd be better to get... Actually, no, this is not going to help us. Let's get 2 things of this potion. Especially because the fairies only heal us up to like 6 hearts or so. I mean, maybe that was a mistake. Maybe Demise is like the one boss that you sprinkle the spores in front of him and it's like his secret weakness. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that our use for the spores is pretty much at an end. And I'll just check it. I can't upgrade this, can I? Because I don't have the Elden Rollers. Yeah, I need more Elden Rollers. Okay. Too bad. Well, it's still... So what we'll do is we'll drink one of the potions when we begin the fight with Demise, while we're still trying to figure out what his strategy is and his moves and everything. And then we'll save the other one for when that one runs out. If it takes that long. I'm assuming it probably will, since it's the last fight of the game. I expect it to be fairly tough. Let's go to the fairy wall. And then when we save, I'll also make a backup of the save. So that'll take just a little bit longer, but that way we always... That wasn't enough to do it. Link. Okay, at least he put you back on the correct diving platform. Cheated. Sorry. Sure. Yep.
Hey.
It's hard to get out of the habit of just not using all of our boosts for fear that they'll come back slower. Even the fact that our stamina, you know, if we decrease our stamina all the way, we go super slow for a little bit. Like, discourages you from just going all out completely. So up here. Through here, right? I'm going completely the wrong way. Okay, yep, there's our Goron, buddy. Oh, hey, you might be interested to know that the temple fell down. Today I would like to witness the magic of hearts emerging from the wall. How astonishing would that be? By the way, would you like to review what was written in the text? No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do hearts at the moment. I'm sorry, but I kind of need the fairies. Okay. Okay, if I can get it looking like anything. Okay, good.
Hey.
Great! Goron! Something I've never seen before just materialized out of that wall. It could not have been a... No, it's impossible. Wait, have we not shown this to you before? I thought we had shown you all of them. Heart of Fairy. This playful sprite will replenish the 6 of your hearts. If you put it in a bottle and keep it with you, it will come to your aid automatically if you run out of hearts. Okay. We don't have an empty bottle, so we'll have to let that fly off. And that one. Please tell me they stick around so I can grab them. Yeah. There we go. Okay, good. Now let's head back to this statue to save. We're going to save and quit so we can make a copy. Yeah. And again, the reason I want to do this is because this is our... We just saved. Seems to be a little bit off on the time, but let's go ahead. This was the save I made last week. I'll just go ahead and save that. Okay, so good. Now we have 2 of those. And the reason is because once we defeat Demise and watch the end credits, like automatically update this save for like a new game. And so I want to have a record in case I want to go back and do anything with it. So, okay, we need to defeat the revived Demise in the world of the past. Okay. Alright, so we've saved, we've backed up. Let's head to it, see if we can rescue Zelda. And hopefully... Hopefully we're up to the task. Okay. So you can tell us we're the only ones who can save the land. Impa and Bruce are back here. They're watching over Zelda, although, granted, I think if we fell to Demise, I don't think there's much that they can do to stop him, but... Alright. Very quiet and dark. Okay. Master, I have important information for you. Once you enter this portal, my analysis indicates a 0% chance that you'll be able to return, unless you are able to vanquish your foe. Ready to proceed? Let's do it. Understood. Know that even in the place that lies beyond the portal, I will be with you. And Master, good luck. So unlike the Silent Realm, Fee will accompany us here. Whoa. It's a bit brighter than I was expecting. So you've decided to meet your end in battle after all. It pleases me greatly to see such misplaced valor, human. Take a moment to appreciate your surroundings, for where we stand shall serve as your tomb for eternity. I picked a nice spot for it, I guess. Thanks. That Link doesn't seem like he appreciates it. Yeah, it is a little wet, though. Didn't want solid ground. Hate for the gods that is boiled in my veins. taste all of it in the bite of my blade. The only question left is how long you will manage to remain standing before I take your life. Try to keep it interesting for me, would you? You got a little scar on your forehead there. And when you do fall, know that your world and everything in it is mine to dominate, mine to subjugate, mine to... When I finish with you, take solace in knowing your friends and kin will soon follow, as I wipe all who oppose me from the face of this world. Okay, well, when I beat you, then, you can take solace in knowing that you're dead. It won't be long now. At last, the almighty power I've sought for millennia. I will take the Triforce for my own. The world shall be under my foot for eternity. Okay, so first of all, Demise. Oh, he doesn't even need a tagline, he's just Demise. Oh, okay. Dude, let me... Oh, okay. Okay. Skyward Strike. Fee, come on. Oh, can we not do a Skyward Strike here? Ow. Could be, there's... Ah. Aha! Okay. Ah. Okay, I need to not get too... Okay, did a pretty good job of... Now you're wishing you had a shield, aren't you? I wasn't thinking that was the end. That's just phase. Oh boy. Oh boy. I was able to do a Skyward Strike there. Oh, our potion's gone. Okay. Dude. See this. get a Skyward Strike. Okay. Even open it. Even after deflecting all of these shots, I got scooped in there. Okay, please tell me our potion carries over this fairy. Okay, that's good. Okay, I think we need to go faster. Yeah, we can get a quick shot here. We have another fairy, that's good. Wow. Okay, that worked. Maybe we need to grab the Skyward Strike before he can. Oh! Almost. Okay, well, if we have to face him again, we at least know what to do. Ah! Oh, I think I almost had him there. I could have brought it down. Okay, so when we get to that part, what we have to do, I think, is... Okay, I'm going to quit and load because I'm not sure... I don't know if continue if they'll have like used up all of our potions and stuff, so. Okay. So I think when we get to the lightning part, we have to try to get a Skyward Strike. Which it seems like I don't know if it's just lucky or being in the right place or what, but we get a Skyward Strike, we can hit him with that, and then that'll open him up for some more hits. And then I'm guessing like we did our final blow and he dodged. I guess he'll do that a couple times, then eventually we'll get through. So okay, this seems doable. I think the opening part, I think we might have the pattern down a little better. So we shouldn't spend quite so much on there. Actually, what I might do is just go ahead and drink our potion before we enter in. And then... oh, that's the way to go this way. Actually, why don't we go ahead and save here, so that way... we won't have to... if we die again, we won't have to climb up and travel to the past and everything. I intentionally didn't do that before, because we were copying the save, and I wanted to
want to have to leave the past on the copied save, but here it's okay for this one. Okay, let's go ahead and drink this. Okay. Yep, we won't be able to get back. Yeah, we're going ahead, Fee. Okay, wow. Okay, that part went a little bit smoother. So now we just need to be in here. Got it. Ah, ow. Okay. He sees us going for that. Okay. Ah, come on. I didn't even mean to do that. Ah! Almost had him. Come on. Okay. Wow, the animation just takes too long. Ah, okay. So that was once, we got him. Oh, okay, that was twice. Got him. Alright. Now is that the final? Or is he gonna revive again? You know, your sword kind of died the same way. Falling on its back with me doing a final strike on it. Don't get up, just stay down. Oh.
Yeah, take that. Extraordinary. You stand as a paragon of your kind, human. You fight like no man or demon I have ever known, though this is not the end. Isn't it? My hate never perishes. It is born anew in a cycle with no end. I will rise again. Those like you, those who share the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, they are eternally bound to this curse. An incarnation of my hatred shall ever follow your kind, dooming them to wander a blood-soaked sea of darkness for all time. Okay, we did it. I have confirmed the eradication of the Demon King. His residual consciousness has been absorbed into the Master Sword and is now sealed away. Okay. Okay, how's Zelda doing? You've done well. Hey, Zelda, you're up. Thank you. I think it's over. Finally, it's all over. I defeated Girahim, I defeated Demise in the past, defeated Demise in the present, defeated prison. Nice going, you two. You guys were totally amazing in this little adventure I like to call The Legend of Bruce. Okay, I'll give him that. I'm pretty sure he's joking, but you know he's earned that. So that's a little. Okay, thanks for clarifying. Joke or not, your contributions to our efforts were heroic. You have my thanks. Oh well, you know, just glad I could make myself useful. I'm happy things turned out okay.
Oi.
Hey, so things look pretty sewn up here. What do you say, guys? Ready to head back to our own time? Granny was really worried about you two. We don't want to keep the little girl in suspense too long. Hylia, your grace. Or perhaps you prefer Zelda. It pleases me to know you are safe. Master, I must speak with you. Master, you have successfully protected the goddess reborn and defeated Demise, fulfilling your role as the hero of legend. My purpose here is complete. Therefore, I ask you to dissolve our arrangement as master and servant. Drive the sword into the pedestal before you, and I will return to the sword to enter a sleep without end. Master, you have achieved the purpose you were chosen to fulfill. Please set the sword in the pedestal and bring the goddess's mission to an end. Now, Master, it's time to conclude our necessary companionship. guess I get to keep the sheath at least. Good thing you had good aim, or might have broken the stone. Or the sword. Probably not the sword. JJ48. Hear me. My purpose was to obey the command of the goddess and lead you, the chosen hero of this land, on your quest. When I first awoke and began this task, I perceived it merely as serving my function as a servant to her grace. However, I have come to consider the information corresponding to our time together among the most precious data I have on record. I do not have the capability to fully understand the human spirit. But now, at the end of my journey with you, as I prepare to sleep within the Master Sword forever, I experience a feeling I am unable to identify. I lack sufficient data to be sure of my conclusion, but I believe this feeling correlates closest to what your people call happiness. Oh, come on, you can't even give us like one more percentage for the rogue. Our partnership is at an end, and even as we speak, I feel my consciousness fading away. Before I enter the sleep that calls me to the sword, I wish to relay to you words that I've recorded many times over the course of our journey. Many have said them to you thus far, but I now wish to say them for myself. Thank you, Master JJ48. May we meet again in another life. Well, given what Demise said about cursing, anyone of my bloodline, that's probably not out of the question. What? Impa, why? Come with us. Zelda, your grace, you possess the memories of the goddess. You must understand why that is not possible. I am a being of this age. My place is here. Impa was from the past. I know that, but... You must return to your own time. I will take care of the gate once you have passed through. You can't do that. You and I have been through so much together. I don't want to leave you alone. Please, come back with us. Zelda, at the command of the goddess, I passed through the gate of time. I did so to protect you and aid the fight to prevent the world's destruction. The last remnants of Demise are decaying slowly within the sword. Someone must stay behind to watch over this blade. His spirit must not reawaken. He must never be allowed to threaten the world again. This is the nature of the task given to my tribe. Yeah, that fits the Sheikah. Well, I guess by the time of some of the games later in the timeline, the Sheikah are more work for the royal family of Hyrule, but always kind of keeping an eye on things and trying to protect the world is, I guess, part of that. As a member of the Sheikah, the goddess's chosen guardians, I gladly welcome this duty. If the Sheikah are the goddess's chosen guardians, that might also explain some of the connections to some of the more mystical abilities and things they have. Zelda, I shall watch over the Triforce. Its power is too great to leave in the grasp of man. Dependence on its might is an invitation to disaster.
When it has served its purpose, it must be a secreted way to lie dormant once again, knowledge of its existence hidden from mortal history. These are the words the goddess spoke to me long ago. I remember them well, as do you, I'm sure. Hey, it's the crest with the Triforce wrapped in a circle for the bracelet. Do not despair, Zelda. You and I will surely meet again someday. And we weren't really privy to it, but yeah, they were having their own adventure kind of the whole time we were off on our own, doing our own thing. Now, if only we had thought to do that before Girahim went into the past. Could have saved ourselves some trouble. Old lady has the bracelet. See? I told you we'd meet again. Kind of makes you wonder, with all the time she's seen us go through the time gate, she somehow knew this time was the final time. Impa, thank you. Groose seems to be taking it harder than any of us. Thank you for everything. Okay, here it can rest until needed again. Okay. Zelda with her harp.
is this what happened to Zelda when she first fell down? Maybe. So after the whirlwind hit her, knocked her off of her loft wing, and she fell down. But before we could go down after her, okay, so first she met old Impa. Okay, that was the spring at the forest temple. Okay, I'm having to get into the earth temple, which is trying to sneak past the enemies. That's when young Impa showed up, so... We went to Nehru province, the temple there. That's when they opened up the time gate there and went back to the past. Zelda Hylia. Okay. Hey, when is this? The statue's back. Probably let Zelda know that her dad's waiting for her. Foreign province. It's like. So I wonder, are the monsters gone from the provinces now? I'm not seeing any monsters. Not since. Now there's still there's flying birds. Those may be less monsters and more just wild animals, I guess. Dragon Farron's place. Okay, now we still have monsters around. There's the bamboo cutting island. Hey! The robots shifted to the past and the robots are active, working. Or I wonder, maybe since we rescued the dragon, Lanayru, maybe he was able to get the return things to where they could mine again in the present. Maybe everything kind of fell to pieces because he had been killed, but now that we were able to undo that.
We have some ruins out in the desert. Like giant robot heads. I guess most of the monsters we're seeing here are the more animalistic monsters. So not seeing any the goblins or moblins. So there's in the way Gearhim was summoning them, I can see what they'd be tied to. Okay, Impa, that's not a very good hiding spot for the Triforce. I'm assuming that's just there temporarily until it can be moved somewhere more secure. Okay. Hey! Good, finally gets to see her dad. Oh yeah, I think the blue one is Zelda's loft wing. Oh, Colin and Stritch coming to greet Bruce again. Brought his loft wing. Oh, we're down on the surface. That's right, because the temple fell down there. I'm not gonna have to play this as a minigame, am I? They're presumably returning to Skyloft. Look around us. As a child, I always dreamed of a world below. I wanted to see the surface with my own eyes and feel the land's warm breeze on my skin. I think I want to live here. I always want to feel solid ground beneath my feet. See the clouds above my head and watch over the Triforce. What about you? What will you do now? Well, there goes my ride, so I guess I'm stuck here too. The end of this game and sort of the beginning of all the others, since I think Zelda remaining on the ground is kind of what prompted the building of Hyrule, the Kingdom of Hyrule, and led into the events of all the other games. So. I'm gonna... There we go. Can play again in hero mode using this save data. Do you want to do it just to start this? Make sure you want to play hero mode. Bring it on. Okay. Is that actually going to start a new game? Because don't need to start it, but yep, we've got hero mode there. So okay. Okay, good. So that it was Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Now let's take a look at some of our post-game stuff. For instance, we'll start with, as usual, how it kind of fits into the timeline. Okay. So, I kind of don't mind the cursor there. Okay. So timeline stays pretty much had everything else here except the Oracle's games. We're not really sure how they fit in. They could go in a lot of different places, I think, especially since they take place outside of Hyrule. Uh, the main thing would just be someplace where Ganon is dead since he's trying to be revived. But Skyward Sword itself takes place at the very beginning of the timeline. Hyrule does not exist yet. The um, we are kind of seeing the beginnings of Hyrule there at the end with Zelda and presumably Link staying on the surface, and they're going to start building the kingdom. Be interested to find out how many other Skyloftians decided to live on the ground as well, since Zelda's dad and Groose was down there, and Colin and Stritch. So presumably, be there can be some coming and going between the two. Honestly, kind of surprised that Groose didn't decide to stay on the ground, considering how much he seemed to like it down there. But so yeah, we'll place this one at the very beginning, and after this is what kicks off all the others. And one of the things that was kind of interesting with this game, this came out in 2011, and also in 2011 came a book called Hyrule Historia, which gave an official timeline. And so let's compare our timeline with the official one and see how they stack up. So it was all on one page and kind of small, so I divided it between the two. Start over here, starting with creation, and then each of the pictures is one of the games, or two of the games in the case of the Oracles, with some major events happening in between. So we had Skyward Sword here at the very beginning, leading into the Minish Cap, sometime after the establishment of Hyrule Kingdom, Four Swords, and Ocarina of Time. So on ours, we have Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, Four Swords, and Ocarina of Time. We agree so far. Then we have a two-way split. On the official timeline, they had confirmed before that there was a split in the timeline, even if I don't think they actually specified exactly what it was. They did confirm that Ocarina of Time caused a split, but as you can see, we don't just have two splits, we have three. So the hero is triumphant, which is the split that we have of adult Link seals Ganon, and then splits off, but then he goes back in time, and as child Link, he manages to warn young Princess Zelda so she stops Ganon from ever coming to power. And so we have the split timeline of where Ganon is thwarted and where Ganon succeeds, but then is defeated 7 years later. And that's the child era and the adult era, as they call it. But then they also added another timeline of the hero is defeated, where that's Link is defeated by Ganon, and Ganon wins, and we needed the sages to step in and take care of Ganon. So I don't think there's any strong, like, I didn't include that on mine because I didn't think there's any particularly strong necessity for it in the story, unlike these two are caused by a time paradox of Link, child Link thwarting Ganon before adult Ganon even comes to power. I don't necessarily see this, but I think we can kind of think of it as like, this is all the times we died while playing the game led to this timeline. So, and so that's going to throw off our things a little bit. But of course, this is also just all of it's somewhat subjective. So let's start with the child timeline, because that's the easiest, with Majora's Mask being a direct sequel. Then the Demon Thief Ganondorf is executed. Twilight Princess, where we actually reference the execution of Ganon. the Shadow Invasion, and then Four Sword Adventures, which had Ganon coming back with the reincarnation of Ganondorf and the resurrection of Vadi. On ours, we had Majora's Mask, and I actually had Four Sword Adventures first because I don't think there was any indication that Ganon in there is a reincarnation, just that he's there in Twilight Princess. Adult era, Ganondorf is sealed. He's sealed away. That's us winning Ocarina of Time and beating him. Then Ganondorf is resurrected. There's no Hero of Time, so Hyrule is flooded. Then in Wind Waker, Ganondorf is resurrected. Then we had Phantom Hourglass, discovered new continents, new Hyrule is founded, and Spirit Tracks. And barring that we had Link to the Past and Link's Awakening on here, we can see these three. Okay, we don't need the page info, but Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks follow from that. That one's also kind of easy because Wind Waker explicitly references the Hero of Time leaving and then Ganondorf reviving, so we know that happens on this timeline. And then the heroes defeated. I think they use this to justify, in A Link to the Past, it talks about the imprisoning war and a big fight over the Triforce things, and I think they I think that's why they have the heroes defeated here, so that there is no hero, there is no Link to, save the day. It's just big free for all, ending up with the Triforce being sealed away in the Dark World, well, in the Golden Realm, which becomes the Dark World when Ganon gets it. And so we have A Link to the Past with the resurrection of Ganon, that we defeated him. Then they put the Oracle's games here with, again, the resurrection of Ganon. That leads to Link's Awakening, which Link's Awakening had been said to be a direct sequel of Link to the Past, but I guess they're saying when Link sailed away, the Oracle's games were kind of on that journey, which would make the Oracle's links the same Link as the one from Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. The monarchy of Hyrule used the Triforce to start a Golden Age. We have the tragedy of Princess Zelda the First. This would be in Zelda 2 when it references how there was a conflict with the Zelda who ended up in a deep sleep, and after that, every female of the royal family was named Zelda. That would take place here. So interestingly enough, they have it where that doesn't take place. That doesn't take place like up here with Skyward Sword or up, early on to justify all these Zeldas. So presumably up to this point, it just kind of so happened that there was always a Princess Zelda, and there could have been other princesses in the royal family in between. But then that led to the original Legend of Zelda, the resurrection of Ganon again, and the Adventure of Link, where the resurrection of Ganon is prevented. So, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, we had those, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. They kind of took these two and these two and these two and put them all on a separate timeline. So, okay. And again, so that was what was official in 2011. It's actually changed since then. We'll get to that when we get to it. And one of the things I might notice a lot here is there's an awful lot of resurrection of Ganon, resurrection of Ganon, resurrection of Ganon, resurrection of Ganon prevented, reincarnation of Ganon, or Ganondorf. Ganondorf is resurrected. Ganondorf is resurrected. We keep seeing the same events again and again and again. And I feel like this game actually kind of recontextualizes that. This game kind of causes a big shift in the overall Zelda lore, similar to in Wind Waker. Let's go. So we started out with the series when we were first getting into it. We had The Legend of Zelda, and then Zelda 2's a direct sequel, and then A Link to the Past, which could be tied in, but it didn't really seem connected, so it almost seems like a reboot. Then Link's Awakening was a direct sequel. Then we had Ocarina of Time that, again, didn't really seem directly tied in,
with Majora's Mask a direct sequel. So we have all these kind of individual games on their own until we get to Wind Waker, which directly ties itself back to Ocarina of Time. And there we firmly establish there are connected timelines. The games are connected, or at least some of them are. And we start putting things together in the timelines. But as we saw, that leads to uh, Ganondorf just getting Ganon or Ganondorf, depending on which form he's in, just getting resurrected again and again and again, and many games having uh, similar plots. I've pulled out all the games here where we fight against Ganon or Ganondorf as one of the major villains. The original Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, with him being the ultimate boss, Wind Waker, Four Sword Adventures, and Twilight Princess. And this kind of repeated, we have this kind of repeated story beat, but now with Skyward Sword, we introduce Demise and his curse of, like, I'm going to keep coming back, or my spirit's going to keep coming back, and your descendants are going to have to, I'm going to keep fighting against your descendants until eventually I win. And so from that, we turn from just a bunch of games being sort of rehashing the same story to now this is a cycle that's playing out through, throughout the Zelda series. And I think we also see a bit of that in Skyward Sword. Uh, I'm sure there's probably bits of it throughout, but I can't help but think, especially the ancient cistern, where we had all the lotus flowers and the giant Buddha statue, and the underworld underneath where we fought the zombie bokoblins. My understanding is that, like in Buddhism, uh, reincarnation and these cycles are very, very big part of that. So I think it kind of a little bit of a nod to that they have this uh, one of the temples being this very, very overt reference to that. And so from this point on, now we kind of have this curse laying over things, telling us, yeah, okay, yeah, don't be surprised when we see the same thing again. It's not just rehashing the same story; it's part of this endless cursed cycle, which makes me wonder if someday we might get a game where we can end up breaking the cycle. Uh, as we had the very first earliest game, we'll have like the very last game, but then that could be kind of limiting because then you would have to make sure that any future games ended up in between the two. So, all right, so some of the themes of the game, um, I saw teamwork. I thought uh, was a big one with Groose and Groose's whole story arc of kind of finding his place. Um, not being the hero, but as Impa tells him, like, hey, you don't sell yourself short. You did a lot to help as well. Um, Trust becomes a big issue or a big theme. We have Zelda's plan overall, where in this game Zelda is much more active than she's been in previous games, even though we don't see a lot of that action. She and Impa are kind of doing their own thing, enacting their own plan. Um, that's happened in some of the games, but I think in Ocarina of Time when she takes on the role of Sheik. But here we kind of have this whole, hey, we need to go do our thing. You want to help? Well, go help by doing your part. And we kind of have to trust Zelda, even though she keeps pushing us off of high ledges without warning. And this also ties in with Fee's memories. That Fee's memories, every time we would find a new bit of song or a new, you return to the shrine inside the Thunder Head, Fee would get more memories and be able to tell us a little bit more about what's going on. Well, that means that Fee doesn't actually know what's going on until we unlock those memories. And so for most of the game, like, we don't have anyone who can even tell us what the plan is. We just have to kind of trust that, okay, well, there is a plan. Just kind of keep moving one step at a time, even though we're kind of in the dark on it. Um, and then kind of goes along with teamwork, but helping was also a big theme, I think, with having the side quests where we explicitly get gratitude crystals and um, eventually help Batro. We collected all the gratitude crystals and got him turned from his demon form to his human form, where he looks so different. Uh, and I think just explicitly making that into all the side quests and having um, just calling out the gratitude uh, helps emphasize that as a theme, as well as kind of fitting with Groose and his storyline. I'm still not sure with the gratitude crystals how the ones that are just kind of lying around out in the open that we just stumble across, how those really tie in, but well. And on its own page is a bigger theme. I think also we have history and kind of um, the history and the past of Skyloft and its people. We have Hylia, and we're told the story about Hylia and how Skyloft came to be through that, and then of course that ties more directly into the story once we find out that Zelda is Hylia. Um, we start out in Little Skyloft, but then we go down to the surface and we find like this huge, expansive place that Skyloft originally came from the surface. But we're kind of returning to the past and seeing that there's a lot more than just our own little world, including an ancient advanced technology. And this one, I've included a couple images from Wind Waker because I feel like this is something we've kind of tied into before. Don't know that we actually called it out, but we have like the advanced robots and their mining facility, and our some of our weapons and things, all tie into advanced technology. Well, in Wind Waker, we also had the Tower of the Gods, which had the statues in it that seemed like they were powered by a mystical power, and we had the boss Godan, I think was his name, um, who also seemed to be like a ancient advanced construct, and who I didn't realize until I was assembling these slides, kind of looks even kind of similar to the robots, just with the floating hands and uh, prominent face and headdress. And so I think it's kind of interesting that this is it seems to be kind of a case of we do sometimes see some technological advances in Hyrule, like in Spirit Tracks we had trains, for instance, and in Phantom Hourglass we had steamships. But it seems like the past was kind of far more technologically advanced, and it would kind of have this sort of a decline from the past to the present. We and along with that history, we also had localized time travel via the time shift stones. We couldn't really travel too far with these, and even the gates that we used in the game, there were limitations. Although we saw from Zelda getting to use one and then going around a bit that those limitations are more imposed by the game than through the gates themselves. Um, but we kind of get a glimpse from the past and notice pretty much anytime we use the time shift stone, we get to see a past that is far more colorful, far more alive, uh, and far more active and advanced than the dry, dead desert that we see in our time. And then, as mentioned, the Gate of Time, or I should say Gates of Time, because there was the one in the temple that we kept using, and then there's also the one in Lanayru Desert that Zelda and Impa used to get to the past initially. So, again, kind of tying into the past, and I'm not entirely sure how it all works out with whenever you have time travel like this. Of course, it gets kind of hairy of we're bouncing back and forth between the times, and so of course that means like the
Impa who stayed in the past and then was old lady Impa in the present. She presumably knows and remembers like seeing us go through all the time gates before, but she's you know has to be very careful about how much information she tells us when, and not like giving us information too early that we uh, might screw up something later. So it, I do find it interesting how often the Zelda games keep returning to time travel. And it's actually rather impressive that we keep doing this, and so far we only have the one. Ocarina of Time is the only one that really causes a major time split. So, looking at individual characters, we have Fi from this game was our companion, and especially compared to other companions, she was more practical and emotionless. Like she didn't really get upset. She didn't really get agitated or anything, which makes sense because she's essentially a construct. She's the spirit of the sword. The sword is a constructed thing. She was, I guess, constructed along with the sword or placed in the sword or something. But it makes sense. Like she's not. It's not like the fairies that we've had in the past, like Navi and Tattle. It's not like Midna, who is her own being with her own plans. Fi's a construct, and she's placed there for purposes of helping us, but she still manages to be, I think, kind of grow attached to her over the course of the game. And as she says at the end, like she starts feeling some emotions, feels happiness from traveling with us. And one of the things I find interesting is by making her the spirit of the Master Sword. Uh, the Master Sword, of course, we've seen in numerous other Zelda games. Not necessarily every Zelda game, but it does keep appearing through the series. And now that we've met Fi and we know who Fi is and know that she's the spirit of the sword, it kind of gives a new significance to the Master Sword. Now, before it was just like, hey, it's this really cool, powerful item uh, that we need to defeat Ganon. Now it's like, oh, hey, this is Fi's coming back to the hero to kind of continue her, never-ending duty to the goddess. So even if she never actually wakes up again in any of the other games and never speaks with us, like she's still, kind of just makes us feel she's still there and uh, helping us out. And then I, just as I was doing some research, I was kind of struck by um, Fi, especially in the face, is visually very similar to the Queen of Fairies, as particularly as she appears in the Wind Waker. And I was trying to think if there's a significance to this. On the one hand, it could just be that from a design standpoint, they liked the design, wanted to reuse it, and were like, okay, we'll kind of copy it over to our new sword spirit here. But it does kind of make me wonder. Of course, we meet the Queen of the Fairies in Wind Waker, which is much later in the timeline. But the Queen of Fairies would have been around much earlier than that. She didn't. It's not like she appeared in the Wind Waker, and I think we've seen other iterations of the Queen of Fairies in some other games. I think one of the Oracle's games she appears, or Link to the Past. Maybe we see her, but um, but it kind of makes me wonder if maybe there's some connection. I mean, she would have been around, presumably as a fairy. She probably could have been around during the events of Skyward Sword, or even like the past of Skyward Sword. Maybe the Queen of Fairies could have even been the one to like work with Hylia to give the Master Sword a spirit. Maybe that's how Fi came into being. Is We don't know exactly what Hylia's powers are, but I didn't see her. I didn't see Zelda doing much of like summoning creatures like Girahim was able to do. So it could be she needed some help creating a spirit, and the Queen of Fairies might have helped, and then been like, okay, yeah, and I'll make her look kind of like me, just to kind of for the fun of it. Probably as a fairy, she doesn't really need a reason for it, just for the fun of it. But, so I don't know. I haven't seen anything confirming that, but it does just seem the similarities seem a little bit too coincidental, and I'm going to go with the Queen of Fairies had something to do with Fee's creation. Groose is probably, I think, the character who gets the most developed arc in this game. He starts as our bully or rival, and he's jealous of Link because he's got a crush on Zelda, and Zelda, uh, they're classmates, so she knows him and presumably speaks with him and stuff, but uh, doesn't like his bullying ways, and she's childhood friends with Link, so um, seems to get along better with Link than with Groose. And initially, that kind of sets Groose up to be very much an antagonist of the game. Um, After Zelda goes missing, and we end up getting down to the ground, a little while later, Groose finds his way down there as well, and he wants to be the hero. And here he's a little bit warmer towards Link. He's not quite so uh, mean towards Link. Doesn't seem to want to use him as a punching bag like he presumably does with Link's face on his punching bag up in his room. But he's very dismissive of Link. He's like, okay, I'm going to be the hero. Link, you want to be the hero? Nah, leave it to Groose. Groose will do it. Um, and he runs off and wants to do things himself. Very quickly ends up realizing that he's kind of in over his head. He realizes he can't save Zelda. He can't do the stuff required, and he kind of falls into a depression and a despair that, like, I think even more so after seeing that Link can do a bunch of the stuff, or is at least on his way towards being able to do it, and kind of coming to terms with, like, Link, this guy he's been dismissive of, this guy he's been jealous of. Now Link is the one who gets to be the hero, and Groose just can't do anything. This is kind of Groose at his lowest point here. But then accepts his role, says, okay, I can't be the hero, but there is other stuff I can do. He builds the Groosinator, which actually does become necessary for us to be able to beat the imprisoned. Like, we both with the bombs that we're able to slow it down, and I think he launches Link to be able to get on it when it's out of reach. And along with that, he also tends to be very protective of old Impa, and we don't get to see very much of this other than just, he's obviously protective of her, very respectful towards her. But when you think about once Groose is there at the temple, we're running off doing all this other stuff. Groose is still there, and old Impa is the only one that he really has to talk to. So, presumably they built quite a bit of a bond and a friendship there. And I think this seems to be a little bit of a trope, I think, that I've seen in other Japanese media, in manga and anime, of kind of a tough, even like a bully, hooligan sort of character, meeting, wise older person, usually a wise older lady, and just it kind of gets some kind of an instinct of, like, oh, I should, this person's worthy of my respect, and I want to protect them, and guard them, even though oftentimes the old lady in question doesn't really seem to need their protection or guardianship. Like, I'm guessing if there was a threat that Impa herself couldn't handle, I'm not sure Groose could handle it. But still, he meant well, and it was nice to see that kind of see that growth in him, especially considering where he started. And instead of being an antagonist, he becomes one of the secondary heroes of the story. and that just makes me kind of wonder about his fate. Now, on the one hand, the red hair and the slightly darker skin makes me kind of think of the Gerudo, but there's a little bit of a problem with that in that one, Groose isn't female, and we know that pretty much all the Gerudo are female except for like one male born every 100 years. And while that's possible if that came along later, I don't really see any other strong ties to the Gerudo. Um, as interesting as that would be. And also we saw Groose head back up to Skyloft, and while it's possible he could come down later, we don't. It's not like I feel like this kind of connection would be stronger if he said, "No, I'm going to stay down here," and maybe even if he went off to like Lanayru Desert and said like, "Oh, this desert area seems kind of interesting," since we know the Gerudo tend to live in the desert areas. Although, thought a thought just came to me that the Gerudo, we see them in the desert. We also have seen them as pirates, and Lanayru Desert also is the place where we encountered pirates because it also used to be have a sea nearby. So, but that is nothing to do with Groose. That's just with the Gerudo themselves, who, even though they don't appear. I think another connection that made him seem like he might be a potential Gerudo or an ancestor of the Gerudo is going back to him being a bully and rival of Link. His animosity towards Link and doesn't really have a hatred of Zelda. He's infatuated with Zelda, but kind of the connection with Link and Zelda does put me in mind of Ganondorf just a little bit as kind of like the third of the trio, and so might be fitting if he were somehow related to the Gerudo. But unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any strong indicator of the game that that's the case. What I think might be a little bit more of a case is the Wind Tribe, who we met in the Minish Cap, and we'll actually talk about them in a little bit. So we'll come back to that at that point. But the Wind Tribe, we're told that they lived among the Hylians, they got along well with the Hylians, and then one day went up to the skies. And so this could fit. That could be either that could happen with Groose. Maybe he comes down and helps with the rebuilding of the kingdom, and then goes back up to the skies, or his descendants go back up to Skyloft. Or it could be misunderstanding of what went on, misinterpretation. But we know that the Wind Tribe went back up to the skies, and the Wind Tribe all have red hair, very similar to Groose. So I feel like that might be a little bit of a stronger connection, and a suggestion that maybe most of the Skyloft Hylians came down, and maybe eventually just Groose or Groose's descendants went back up to Skyloft and became the Wind Tribe. Okay, so we also just wanted to showcase, mention it in the game, but we have had several whale deities throughout the series. We had the Windfish in Link's Awakening. We saw the black and white version. I also included a color version from the Switch remake just to give a little bit of color here. And I can't help but notice in the coloring, the kind of checkered pattern here in the purple, it just kind of made me think of a little bit of Fee's stockings and her cape, purple cape. She doesn't quite have the same design. She has like this bright blue that looks more like the Tweely blue, but just that design almost made me think of Fee a little bit. We had Oshus from Phantom Hourglass, who I don't think we see flying, but he's still a whale deity. And the Windfish has these tiny little wings. And Levias is a flying whale. He doesn't have wings, but he does have this big bony plate on his head. And I'm not sure why we keep seeing whale deities, especially flying whale deities, and especially, at least the Windfish, even though he's flying, he still seemed kind of connected to the ocean. Levias just is up in the sky for some reason, no connection to the ocean at all. But it keeps coming up. We might see if it comes up again in any of the later games. For music, we had, of course, the goddess's harp is our instrument that we find here. Again, most of the games we end up with some kind of instrument. Um, one of the one of the things I wanted to call out, which I think might have been a hint to us early on, that Groose, even though he seemed antagonistic, wasn't destined to be a main antagonist, is Groose's theme. And let me go ahead and play some of this. Sorry, I know we're a little bit over, but I just want to really get through all this tonight. It's our 200th episode, and we're at the end of the game, so let's go a little bit longer. So, all right. So this is Groose's theme. Okay. Actually kind of sounds sort of goose walking, I'll say. Okay. Yes, that's a bit of Groose's theme. Don't need to play the whole thing, but this is the theme of the pirates. So it's not the same theme. Um, there's definitely differences of it. Groose's sounds a little sillier, honestly. This sounds, I think, a bit more naval, in my opinion. But there's very similar instrumentation. The beat is very similar. And so it kind of makes me think of if we'd already played, we already played Wind Waker, if we're familiar with the Pirates theme, when we hear Groose's theme, just kind of puts us a little bit in that mindset of like, oh, maybe this is a similar character. And among those similarities are he's a sketchy character. At the beginning, he's kind of antagonistic, but becomes an ally. The pirates also at the beginning were forced to work with them, but they don't really come off as the nicest bunch initially. They help us mainly because basically because the Rito postman kind of bullied them into it and said like, hey, it's your fault that his sister was taken, you need to help him out. But over time they end up becoming pretty good friends and allies. So by the time of Phantom Hourglass, we're part of the crew as well, practically. And then less of a strong connection, but they do actually like Groose. They launch Link via catapult. The pirates launch him in a barrel into the Forsaken Fortress, and Groose uses the Groosinator to launch Link onto the imprisoned at one point. Okay. Come on. Stop. Okay. Updating Link's list of girlfriends. I think I feel pretty confident including this Zelda, the Skyward Sword Zelda on here, the childhood friends trope, and they do seem pretty close at the end. And of course, we also need to include Beatrice, who has a crush on Link, even though in this playthrough it's unrequited, although that was a choice that we could make to say, like, oh yeah, I like you too. Which I think takes us to our next screen. Yeah. Serious amount of drama here. I call it high school drama because it just seems like there's a lot of emphasis on these crushes and relationships, and the fact that we are all at an academy. Maybe it's meant to be more of like a college level rather than high school, but just the amount of drama seems
seemed quite high in here, and the style seemed like it's kind of in a very silly way. We had Beatrice has a crush on Link. Link and Groose have a mutual dislike because Groose has a crush on Zelda, who's the childhood friends with Link. We have uh, Scrapper has a crush on Fee, who doesn't really have emotions and doesn't obviously can't return those feelings, but she sees the usefulness of Scrapper, and uh, Scrapper seems to view Link with disdain and just like always looking down on him. And then we had uh, let's see, Karain, whom Colin had a crush on, and he wanted us to give the letter to her. Instead, we gave the letter to the hand, and I don't know that it really came out too much, but there's a mutual interest between Karain and uh, Pippet. Um, and interestingly enough, these two, with Colin and with Beatrice, are kind of the two moments in the game where we can really make a decision that kind of changes things for at least a couple people. As I said before, Link could choose to return Beatrice's feelings, in which case she gets more excited and is like lovey-dovey every time you meet, rather than being down on us every time we go back to the counter. But she says like, "Oh, but I understand you still have a mission, and so I'll just wait here taking care of your stuff for you." And Fee, I think, will respond by saying, um, like, "Hey, it's probably best if you just don't tell Zelda about this, or don't mention this to Zelda." Colin, we can give the letter to the hand, in which case he ends up with the hand stroking his hair while he's asleep every night, the ghost hand. If we had given the letter to Karain instead, she would read it, and um, like I think before she can even give a response, Pippet would run in and say like, "Oh, I was interested in you, but I didn't really think to say anything until I heard like other people were interested, but now I need to make my feelings clear." And then she's like, "Oh, well, I feel the same way about you," and they become a couple. So either way, Colin doesn't really. Either way is kind of a bad ending for Colin. At least this way, he does get a girlfriend, if he can ever move past the having nightmares all whenever he's around her. So here's what I was talking with the we've had several different sky peoples now in the series. Um, we of course have the Hylians, as we've seen in this game, the people of Skyloft, and now we know why. Have we had I forget if we've had a mention of the goddess Hylia in previous games. This makes it very clear why they're called Hylians rather than Hyruleans, though. It's related to the goddess Hylia, rather than to the land itself. Um, we've had the Wind Tribe, as I mentioned, in the Minish Cap, and as you can see here, everybody, all of them with red hair. So, and birds. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the Groose's descendants became the Wind Tribe theory. And then we had perhaps the strangest ones, the Uka, the weird bird people, who also are said to have some relationship to the ancient Hylians, um, and to have helped build their society in Hyrule and eventually here. So it's possible maybe Groose's descendants ended up becoming the Uka. We have seen like uh, the Rito came from the Zora after all, so we know that peoples can change like that. However, it's also possible maybe uh, the loft wings also seem pretty intelligent for birds, and their connection with Highlands. Maybe the Uka came from the loft wings, even. That might explain their bird-like appearance, and somehow just over the generations they became less majestic flying creatures and more uh, weird human-headed chickens. So, not really sure how they tie in, but they must be related somehow. So, and with that, that's kind of all I've got for this game for now. Our next game is going to be The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, and just kind of looking at the box art here, it'll be on the Nintendo 3DS. We see a Triforce and a like inverted Triforce, not just upside down, but also black with a gold center, where this is gold with a darker, like a cutout center. You can see a Link here who's, uh, they're a picture of Link drawn on this wall, and there's the Master Sword. So looks like we'll get to meet Fee again, even if she's still gonna be taking her nap. So we'll get to that next time. Now, when next time is might be a little while. I've had I think I might have a commitment next week. I don't know if I'll be able to stream on Friday. I know I said I would last Friday. I said I'd be available Friday. That may change. I'm gonna have to check with some people, and I'll try to post on. I'll at least have access to Twitch, so if I can't stream, I'll be able to post on Twitch that I won't be streaming. But then next Monday and the following Friday, I might be unavailable as well. So, A Link Between Worlds, I think we will start that in 2 weeks. We'll take a week off this time. So, with that, I'll see you then. I know we went a little bit over, but I think there's some very interesting stuff with this game, a lot to cover, and I think it was worth the time. So, with that, thank you for joining me. Have a good week or a good couple of weeks, and I will see you next time. Bye.